Welcome back, guys. This is Legit Lee back again with the second part to our follow focus system. I didn't want to get my camera all set up because obviously these last few streams have been kind of long and the camera's been shutting off, so I just figured, what the heck, let's just go ahead and just jump into the stream without showing my beautiful face here. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go right where we left off at. So if we go where you can see right here, we designed the whole follow focus mount for the NEMA 17 stepper motor. So if we go into front view, here we're in orthographic mode still. If I just pan up, we get into perspective. I don't know why that is, but so if we press H to hide that, and then we go to top view, you can kind of see it does line up pretty nice, and I have the ability to move the motor back and forth a little bit. It gives us a little bit of a clearance because we made these holes extend out a little. So that way, when we do make our gearing system that's attached to the shaft of the motor, it'll be able to push up against the other gear that's going to be rotating the ring around your lens, like how this ring here is. You see you have a ring on the lens here that allows this gear, if I hide or just wireframe everything really quick, you can see this gear right here is supposed to butt up right next to this gear, and then it spins the whole ring around the lens. So if you're needing it for focus or to zoom in or out, so say if you have a telephoto lens that needs to be zoomed in and zoomed out, you can do it with this gear and this ring right here. And some lenses vary, so some of them have like a push-pull focus. Those are like old vintage lenses, but most lenses now have the ability just to use a ring that pulls the focus, and that's what they use these follow focus systems for. So it wouldn't be just for focusing, it will be for actually zooming in and zooming out on a frame if you have that type of lens. Those lenses can get pretty expensive, guys, so I would, if you have like a mirrorless camera, which I have two mirrorless cameras, and Panasonic G7 and a A7 A7 III Sony camera. So I have the ability to adapt mirrorless, like since it's mirrorless, I have the ability to adapt other lenses to my camera. So as long as I have different adapters, and since we're using this system as a pull focus or a zoom in and zoom out for your telephoto lenses, I wouldn't need to worry too much about needing autofocus, so I can use all manual lenses if I wanted to. Anyway, so we're going to start off right where we left off at. So if I go back into solid mode, we're going to click on this, hit tab to get into edit mode here. And what I want to do is we're going to copy these exact vertices here, the top layer, because we're going to duplicate this to make the next layer. So if you can see right here, this top version of the mount that everything's being mounted to, you can see that this portion here is going to be needing to be duplicated. So we need to duplicate the top layers and then make a second half of this. So there's two parts to, well, there's a bunch of parts to this follow focus, but for the frame itself, there's this bottom piece here that's mounted to the motor. Then you have this top piece right here that's mounting the bolts and everything to the motor and the shaft and everything. So we're going to be making this next. So I'm going to go ahead and hit wireframe, get out of wireframe. We're going to, well, actually, no, we need to stay in wireframe. Hold on. I just messed up. There we go. Let's go to front view here, or maybe do side view. Yeah, side. Well, yeah, we need to do side view. Let me do the other side. So that would be shift, control. I'm sorry, control 3 on a number pad. And let's see. So we need these right here. I'm trying to see where I need to stop at. So it seems like right here to right here is what we need. So we're gonna A to select, or we need to deselect everything basically, and hit B, and we're gonna wireframe grab everything on the bottom. Now we can do this one too, where it grabs all of these, which we probably should do, but I'm gonna wait. Because we can extrude and do anything we want after we get everything set up. So now we have that. We'll just hit Control D to duplicate, or I'm sorry, Shift D to duplicate, and then we'll hit Z for the axis that we want to travel on. So because we're just going straight up, so if we hit Z, it won't allow us to move nowhere else. So if we just go up by holding onto our control button, it'll allow us to do it in millimeters or meters that we're in. I don't know if it's millimeters or 10 millimeters since we're zoomed out. I think it may be millimeters though, just 1 meter per move. So now we have that. Let's go to our side view so we can see. Let me just go ahead and hide these pictures really quick. So we have pretty much the layout of the same portion there. We just have to bridge these two vertices together. So if we click on that one and this one, hit F to face, that'll bridge those two vertices right there. So if we do a solid view here, well, actually we bridged those two, but we need to bridge the other one, so we will have to select these individual vertices. So let's go into solid view, and then we can do C and just grab, oh, my mistake, we need to zoom down, move, hold on, let's move in, deselect these two, and then we can hit C, grab these right here and over here and right there. If we just move over, okay, so we selected all the vertices that will make this face. So if we hit F to face, that'll close the gap, and then you're all good to go. So you have a complete closed vertice edge there, and a closed face, so you don't have to worry about that. And since both of these sides are exactly the same, you don't have to worry about the measurements. It speeds up the process here for you. I don't know if you guys can hear everything in the background right now, but all that stuff that you hear in the background are actually my 3D printers running. And I am right now printing out this bottom piece that we created last week on my Creality Ender 3 printer using ABS white filament. So we have that going on, and I'm going to highlight all these edges around here. So if we do A to deselect, and then we will do C if you want to. There's multiple ways to do it, but I'm just going to use C so I can just like skim over everything really quick. So you have those. No, I think I just messed up. Hold on. Maybe we should do, I think it's Control Alt. Yeah, there we go. That grabs all those. Then we can just, you know, grab these right here. And that should be all of them. There we go. Yeah, that looks like all of them. So all we have to do now, if we want to make a top layer portion of all this, we can do it for this too, since we're going to wind up, no, we're going to need to do it backwards for that one, because this one's going to come down. So you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So let's go ahead and do front view, and we're going to hit E to extrude on the Z-axis plane, and then we'll just hold down the button to do, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to have 4 millimeters. You can see it kind of created like a box shape here. Actually, you probably should have done it for all the vertices. Let me just do that really quick, because we got those mounting holes too that we have to get. So yeah, we'll just do all the vertices here. That makes more sense. I'm sorry I didn't think about that until just now. Let's do C again. We'll just grab all these vertices right here, and then all these vertices, and these vertices. C is always going to be pretty good for grabbing all the vertices you need to grab, as long as you're doing it right. And then C for over here, and then over here, over here. See, I'm trying not to grab those vertices down there since we're in that view. Okay, there we go. I mean, we could have just grabbed all the faces, I think, but I tend to want to grab the vertices more just in case. But yeah, all the vertices probably would have been, I mean, all the faces probably would have been fine for this too. But I just, whenever it comes to like extruding and everything, I try to make sure I just grab what I need, not anything extra. So now that we have all the faces, we can go ahead and hit E to extrude Z plane 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now that we have that, you can see it's got really big and bulky, which is great. So we don't have to worry about that too much. And then for these vertices in here, that one, honestly, I've been thinking about it, and I don't even know if I really needed this mount here, because we could have put that inside the wheel itself. So if we look at the picture, and I hide or wireframe everything really quick, if you see right inside of here, that wheel, the gear that it's rolling on, we can actually have that, have our ball bearing inside that gear, because that's what needs to spin. We don't really need to worry too much about anything else. But I'll do it for both sides, and if I see that I need to remove it, I mean, I have the ability obviously to do so, and then we'll cover that topic once I print everything out and talk about it, because I'm going to be showing you guys everything, me designing it from scratch, me printing it out, what I came into contact with, what the problems were if there was any, and how it's working and everything. So you guys just have to stay tuned for those videos. But yeah, obviously I'm pretty much dead set on this, because honestly I want to create my own company, kind of making stuff like this. So if you guys are interested in something like this product for instance that I'm building from scratch, you guys can hit me up down in the description below. I'll be more than happy to start selling these, selling some of these items, because of the fact that I'm going to be designing them all from scratch, and I already am going to start printing out the masks. A lot of people have been asking me about the Kakashi mask that I've made in the past, and so a lot of people were asking about buying it from me, but I'm not going to sell that particular one since it was my first one and it took like a week to make. Well, actually it took longer because after I printed it out, I did some epoxy resin stuff, and it took like 3 days for it to cure. Then I had to wait. Some life stuff happened, so I had to wait a little bit. So really it took longer, but altogether, if I would have added the time together, it probably would have been about a week to make it, because it's going to take a few hours, like about a day or two to print, then to epoxy resin it, then 3 days for it to cure, then we were sanding and painting. So yeah, I would say a good week, at least a good 7 days for it to fully to make one mask that was that elaborate anyway. Now if it was just 3D printing a mask and was selling it out there to somebody, then that's what it is. But I was doing something a little extra, like I always do. Anyway, but for this information here, I was gonna say we can still make this. You see this portion here is, if I go into solid mode, this is the lip that allows our stuff to sit in. We only got the outside portion. So how we get the inside portion, all we have to do is deselect everything. We're going to go to face select, and we're going to select all these faces around here if I can. There it goes. And all we gotta do is go back into this mode here, and then we'll do E to extrude. I think it's Control E, and we're going to extrude along the normals. Then we're just gonna pull in, not too much. We want to make sure it lines up right. So if I do wireframe, that's pretty close, but we're gonna have to scale it out a little bit. So if we hit S and X, that will scale on the X and Y plane. I mean only on the X plane. That will pull us out to the lip. There we go. And then SY will scale us out on the Y plane, and then we can match them up. Perfect. So then at this point, since we're doing it this way, what's going to happen is we're going to need to pull these vertices down because we're still making a lip. Now we made the socket, but we need to make the lip of these vertices here. So we would need to select all these right here and then pull those down to make this outer portion. And then we can close the top vertex off or extrude it in and make these circle mounting holes, which we can do. So let's go ahead and make the lip first. Let's go into solid mode, and you can see what I mean now. I need to get these vertices right here. Let's go ahead and hide this guy, and now we'll do Alt Shift. Won't let me select. Oh, there it goes. Select all of them. Good. And then now that we have that, we'll go to our front view, and then we'll hit E to extrude on the Z, and we're pulling down, but we're holding down the shift button. I think it's about 3. It looks like about 3 millimeters. Because it's 5. It's supposed to be like 5 deep, and I think I did 3. And okay, that looks a little strange. I don't know why. That was supposed to be E to extrude. I don't see why this is doing this right here. Oh, okay. We don't need to select those. So let me unselect these really quick. Double check everything. Okay. So 1 E Z 1 2 3. Alright, and now we will need to, I'm thinking about doing a loop cut because we need to do about 5 millimeters in. Or we can, I can just grab these vertices right here. If I go into edge select mode, we can just Control Alt grab all these, and then if we go to front view, Z to wireframe, and it should show, yeah, it shows the ones we highlighted. You just can't see it because it's in there, but if we hit GG, that'll allow us to move the wireframe mode around. So if we go about, that was 2 millimeters, and we're at 3, so that should be enough of a depth for the ball bearing to sit in. Yeah, that should, right, because we're, just zoom in a little bit here. So if we do GG, move this one with Control 1, 2. That should do it right there. And then from that point on, we're going to be closing in the gap. So if we go back to 7, let's go out of wireframe here, and if you can see on the sides, I don't know why that perspective stuff keeps popping up, but you can see on the insides here that we have still the wireframe. We moved it up a little bit, basically that whole portion. So now we got to extrude these inward because we're going to be making this portion here. So if we go to top view, well, actually we have to grab all these vertices first. So I mean these faces. So we'll just go do that. Control, grab all those. Just Alt and Shift. And if we go to 7, we're going to again extrude. We're going to make it this hole now. So if we do Z for wireframe, so we can see through everything, and we'll do. Well, actually, I think we could scale it. Scale the inside. We could try that. So if we hit SX, scale it in to about here. It doesn't have to be completely perfect because these are very small measurements that you won't even notice. And then SY, we'll go scale into here. Right there, looks pretty good. Now if we do wire solid mode, we can see that we have our top portion. Oh, what happened here? That's odd. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna have to extrude. I was gonna try to do it without doing that, but it's fine. So let's just go ahead and do Alt E, and we'll do it along the normals. If you pull in, you can see it starting to close in a little bit. Up too much. Too much. Pull out. There we go. And right there looks pretty nice, but we're going to still S, X, pull it out just a little bit to match right about there. Then S, Y, pull it out a little bit to match right about there. Now if we do solid mode, you can see that we have our flat plane and our top plane, so that's good. We have both top and bottom, and so that's pretty much it for that portion. I mean, we don't need to do anything else. Everything is completely set up right. So we have 2 ball bearings and two different plates, so this will be basically where it mounts to the other portion. So that portion is completely done. Now see how quick this video was. It wasn't 2-3 hours long. If you guys are liking this video, please like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. And if you're interested in me designing or making or printing out any of these parts and actually buying it from me, definitely comment below, because I'm really thinking about starting like a company here with a friend of mine that me and him been friends since we were like in middle school. So we always talked about having our own company and everything. So we're thinking really hard about getting set up for that. Right now what I'm doing is I'm gonna bevel this out. So if we hit Control B, I can pull this out. I want to curve it a little bit to make it look a little neater. More curvular, I guess. So we got 1, 2, 3. Let's just do like 4 vertices. That should be fine. We don't need anything too intense. So this should work right here without any issues. So that makes it nice and more neat looking and nice and curved. I just like curved stuff, so I don't want no sharp point, especially if you're working with stuff like this. I just like the more neater version. This is okay because it's gonna be at a slant and you're not really touching that, but on the edges I could see you touching, so I like my stuff to be nice and flush. But I hope you guys are liking the video. Like I mentioned, please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. I'm going to be printing this part out next, so on the next video I'll go ahead and show you guys this one already printed, and then this one is going to be printing. I'll probably have both of them printed out for you so you can see, and then I'll try to mount it and everything, get everything all nice and set up for you guys. The next installment will be me making the gears that we need to make. So if you look at the gears on here, we have, if I do wireframe, you have this gear right here that's controlling that ring gear, and then the gear that moves that gear. So you'll have 2 gears, one for the shaft and then one for the follow focus ring. So yeah, stay tuned for that. My name is Legit Lee, and I'm signing out.